Okay, so today we're going to get started on a clutch repack on the Case 310 Bull Dozer. My name is Greg, this is Elysian Fields, and stay tuned. Okay, well, show you what we're up against here, kids. So I've got this old Case 310 Bull Dozer, and when I bought it, the guy told me, yeah, you're gonna need new chains for the tracks. They're shot. He thought the sprockets on the back were okay, but when I looked at them, they're junk. They need to be replaced as well. So I brought the machine home, and I've been using it to do some things around here. And I noticed when I started pushing some larger piles of dirt around that it seemed like the clutch was slipping a little bit. And over the course of the summer, the little bit turned to more and more, and it'll still drive around and go up steep hills and things like that. But if you do any serious pushing, the clutch starts to let go, so that thing needs to be repacked. So today the plan is to kind of clear this building out a little bit, get some of this stuff out of the way, get that snowmobile trailer out of the way, and then I'm going to pull the dozer forward, and I'm going to put some cribbing on the ground here, and I'm going to back the machine up on that so it's raised up off the ground a little bit and gives me plenty of clearance underneath there. I'll block it up real good on two places underneath the tracks on both sides, and I'm going to make sure I shore up underneath the blade, and then I'll go to work on it and see what is it going to take to pull that clutch out of there. Never done it on this machine before, or on this kind of machine, so I have no idea what I'm in for, but we're going to give it a go. So this is video 1, or installment 1 of the clutch and track repairs on this Case 310. So stay tuned.
I heard the rumor rise, and I held to the iron with smoke in my lungs. Oh, the raging tide. Hey, 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 hey. Down to the sleep below, 'cause there ain't no rest in the fight or the silence. Oh, the crushing blow. Even
Okay, so we got it all cribbed up, as you can see behind me, and it's sitting on there good and level. I got the blade sitting on a 2x6. Now, that doesn't mean that the machine can't roll. It could still roll, theoretically. I doubt it would ever move, but to be sure, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chain right here. I got one for each side, and I'm going to go from here. I'm going to go underneath this, around it. I'm going to go around this and hook to here. So it can't go forward and it can't go back. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Now, if you hear some movement or you hear something start rolling, and then you don't hear any noise from me, call for help. Let's see. Right there. Let's take a look. Okay. We are under the belly of the beast. Okay. Okay, this time it's recording, I think. Yep. So, here, let me clean that. Let me clean your eyeball off. So, here's what we got. So we have that right there is the output shaft from the motor, goes through the clutch and connects to that drive shaft. That drive shaft goes back here and connects to the transmission, the rear end on the Bull Dozer. I think they call that the transmission. I don't know, but we got to pull that shaft off. Once that shaft comes off, we pull that input shaft that you can see right there, the yellow. That input shaft should pull out. And once that comes out, then we can come over here and pull this inspection plate off. And then we can get to the clutch assembly. And I believe once this plate's off, we can work the motor around and get the bolts out and drop that clutch assembly right out. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. But I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what's got to happen. So I'm going to go get some wrenches, and I'm going to start wrenching on this drive shaft and see how far I can get. So as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted by a dying battery, was that I got this first U-bolt out of both ends on this drive shaft, and now I got to rotate the drive shaft, but I don't have my G.I. Joe with a Kung Fu grip anymore, so I don't, oh, there, it's moving. Urgh. Oh, come on, baby. Just a little further. Maybe with a screwdriver I can persuade it. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, when I turn it, how am I going to do that and keep you guys along for the ride? I don't know. We'll just try it like that. So, you have to be somewhat of a contortionist to do this kind of work. And you got to have cat-like reflexes to catch the things that fall when you least expect them to. Lose them. So look at that. Look at that. That just came apart like nothing. Oh boy, I want to make sure that that doesn't fall off there just yet. So now we got to get back here Do the same thing to that side right there. So where can I set you guys? Maybe I can set you right here? I don't know. Just thought it was a good idea. Okay, now on that side I was pushing down because these face the other direction. You've got to push it up.
Now, from time to time, you're going to see the video is going to speed up, and that's just to spare you the boredom of watching me remove a bolt. These U-bolts on this drive shaft, they came out pretty easy. They weren't froze up. They were covered with grease and dirt, so they came off quite well, and so I was pretty happy about that.
Come on. The other end came out just dandy. There we go. Oh, I almost knocked you guys down. There we go. Can I get it out without losing the caps? That's what I prefer to do. And I did. Da, 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 da. All right, let's rescue you guys a minute. I'm gonna use the camera eyeball up in here and look around, and then do a little bit of video surveillance. But so, okay. Right, sure. Yeah. No problem. No problem. Yep, we can cut that off. And then, yeah. We pull those screws out and pull that input shaft out, and we should be able to drop the clutch assembly. There's that one. I'm trying to get these bad boys out without busting my knuckles all up, but you know, I probably should already say that that's a foregone conclusion. I really should try and get my impact in here. There we go. Look at that. Right. I probably now have to go after getting this plate off right here. This big monster. Then I can maybe tap that plate that we just took the bolts out of in there. Tap that from in front back and see if that comes off. Oh, look at that. That is, let's take a look at that from up top a minute. We might have, yeah. So this is gonna have to come out next. Then the plate that we took the bolts out that hold the input shaft, if we take that out, we should be able to get to it from the top, and maybe we can work that back from there. What a joy. 1, 2. Okay, there's just 2. Pretty sure. It's gonna be
It's kind of funny how sometimes when you're working on a project like this, the things that you would look at and say, oh, that's going to be easy, turn out to be the biggest pain in the ass. This plate just was stubborn, and there were things that were connected to it that you couldn't see, and eventually I got through all of them and got it out, but what a pain.
Oh, there's a spring on there. Oh, let's see if I can get it out of there. It looks like it's just hooked. There we go. So it's just hooked over the top. Such is the life of a poor farm boy that doesn't have the money to buy a brand new bulldozer. Or even a well-maintained bulldozer. There's that. Now it's coming out of there like you would expect. Well, like some of us might expect. Well, I spoke too soon. Whoever designed this ought to be given a stern talking to. Now there's another itty bitty cotter pin way down inside there that I got to try to reach up in there and get to pull that apart. But I'm really not wanting to do that. This thing needs to be slotted. Wish I had a plasma cutter, I'd cut that out. What in the name of St. Francis was that guy thinking when he designed that? Well, the truth is, I don't think he was thinking. I think he had, back when they had 17 guys on the drafting board, every one of them had a better idea. Wow. How am I going to get to that? Will somebody explain that to me?
Entirely too much time taking this plate out.
If you're wondering what I'm doing down here, I'm contemplating some of my life's choices. Always one more trick in the book. So what we got, look in there, you can see, if you can see past all the other stuff, there's a cotter pin down in there. Right down in there. That I need to get my hands on so you can watch and see just how real the struggle is. That's too short. I need a screwdriver. It's about 4 inches longer, but I don't have that. What I do have is a file. I bend that up. That. And I bend this one up. That. And then I get back down underneath there. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to grab a hold of that. Slide it out. Before that plate goes back in, that's all getting changed. Telling you that right now. Come on. demon cotter pin. Now, can this thing tip forward from there? I don't know. You can't tip it out, because when you tip it out, it hits this bolt and that bolt. May not be a good thing, but I'm taking it out anyways. Let's see. Can we get it out now? I don't know. What else might be in the way? We don't know. We don't know. We'll grab that in a minute. We're going to conquer this first. At least that's what we hope. There we go. There we go. So I take that last comment, it came out. But with a lot of undue and unnecessary struggling. So now, what we need to do is pick that nut up from the grip down there, so we don't lose that. Because with my luck, it'll be some 17.5 millimeter, 1.06729 pitch thread that you can only get in Istanbul on the 5th Saturday in February. All right, let's see if we can persuade this from the back here. Did it move at all? At all? No, let's try again. Can always sharpen my what? It moved. Did you guys see that? It moved. Now maybe I can get a screwdriver behind it. Yes, I can. There we go. So there's the input shaft removed, or the output shaft. Depends on how you want to look at it. So that shaft is now out of the assembly, so we should be able to now drop the clutch. Come on, get up there. There we go. That's completely disengaged now. Let's see here. Put some light on the situation, you'll be able to see it a little better. So now, here, that's the shaft that we were pointing at underneath. We pulled the whole assembly out. And now, what I want to look at is if I can get it completely out of there. So it's, oh, there's some funkiness going on there. Oh, that's a throw out? Is that a throw out? Clutch bearing? I don't know. Put you guys down. here. Keep some light on it. See if I can get it up from the other side. Man, we're close. We're so close. I just don't know if it's gonna come out in these tight quarters. Yes, that's the throwout assembly for the clutch. You would think, I'm just saying, you would think that you'd be able to get this out without having to take all this stuff off. Point that down. Boy, it's close. There we go. There's that. Get that part out. There we go. All right. How's that? It only goes in one way, so I can't possibly screw that up when I put it back together. I don't know if I can take that out. I can. Look at that. So that sounds, I don't know. Maybe that's okay? I don't think so. My gut's telling me no. No chance in Hades. Is that okay? Well, that right there was some type of fancy greasing mechanism. Oh, I see where that came from. Yeah. So what that is on this bearing, this is a throwout clutch bearing. This is a throwout bearing. And that's a tube where you're supposed to get grease, and that's supposed to be connected to that tube. And that tube runs up here to the outside of this housing somewhere, where you're supposed to be able to pump grease into the housing, down this tube and into this thing, and grease this bearing. That sounds like, you know, somebody's wristwatch after it's been hit with a hammer and then thrown on the beach and filled with sand. So, okay, well, we're making progress. So that is your clutch throwout bearing. And when you step on the clutch, pushes this thing forward and disengages the drive, the power from the input shaft. It disengages it from the pressure plate. And when you let the clutch out, it re-engages. So I gotta get my light. My light's down there yet, isn't it? Yep, there it is. Looking down inside there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see. I'll try. So inside there, you've got, inside here, there's two plates. One is directly connected to the motor, and it's turning all the time. And the other one is connected to the pressure plate assembly that connects to the output shaft going to the back of the machine. And when you step on the clutch, you disengage that. Came apart a little easier than I was expecting, honestly. But, knock on wood, I don't want to speak too soon, we still have to get the assembly dropped out of the bottom of the machine. Okay, so now that we got our eyes on the throwout bearing and the output shaft for the transmission, I got that out of there. Now we're gonna get that bracket out from underneath there and pull the inspection cover or clutch plate assembly cover off. Okay, I think you should be able to see everything that's going on here. So here we go. Okay. Don't want to drop anything on me. Here we go. And there it is. Ladies and germs. Let's see here a minute. Get the light over here. Over here. Yes, it looks like I may be able to get this out without having to mess with the plate, with that big plate. It's in, we can both see, but it's not in my eyes. So we need to take this bolt here off all the way around. And then it should slide right down and out of the way. I'm assuming there's going to be 1, 2, 3. There's probably 7 bolts on there. Yeah, that's the assembly right there that we need to get out. And we'll be good. So I think that's that looks to be about a 5/8 wrench. So let me go see what we have there for that. And I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, so it's 5/8. With a big breaker bar on here like this, the motor turns over real easy. So I'm gonna have to put a wrench in here to keep this from turning over when there we go. That's good. Oh, come on. Okay. That's good. Oh, come on, doggone ya. Now what I need is a small-headed, battery-powered ratchet. Or a regular ratchet, which, you know, isn't always bad.
Now, as I'm pulling these bolts out of this pressure plate, I realize that the clutch is actually engaged with the motor. So when you go to turn the pressure plate, you're turning the motor over. Now, it's not easy for me to turn it over with my hand, but it readily moved with a breaker bar, which kind of leads me to the idea that this motor doesn't have the greatest compression, and I may be doing an engine refresh in the future on this. Bolts, bolts, and more bolts. As you rotate this thing around, you look and you go, well, that should be the last one. That's 6. Nope, there's 7. Oh, no, wait, I think there's more. Once in a while, I'll grab the camera and give you guys a little bit of a different perspective on what's going on, and just to try to make it a little interesting, and so you can see what I see.
What's going on with that? That's a different size.
And another thing you always run into on projects like this is somebody who worked on it before put a bolt with a different size head on it. So now I got to go find the right socket for that one.
It is. It's a different size on that one. But not uncommon. It's not like I haven't seen that before. You know, it was in the garage, it was in the shop once being worked on. The guy took it apart on Friday night, and he was in a hurry to get out of work because he was going to go bowling with his buddies. And after that, they were going to go to the gravel pits and drink till 4 a.m. And then something happened, and people were arrested, and he went to jail for a week. And then when he got out and he got back, he, he had lost one of the bolts. And looked around, said, you know what? It's just a standard thread. Who cares if the head's smaller? It's a 1/2-inch bolt. Just put anything in there. Okay. You master mechanics know what I'm talking about.
That last little anecdotal story was not from personal experience. Maybe. And when you get to the last bolt in any part that you're trying to take off, pretty much on any project, that last bolt always seems to be the one that takes the longest.
Okay, I've decided I'm changing my plan of attack here. I'm just going for broke. Take that last bolt out, and I'm going to pray to the clutch gods that it doesn't fall on my head and that I can catch it. Yeah. Boy, now that was planned. That was totally planned. Let's check here a minute. That's all the bolts.
In this moment, I have a bad feeling that I missed something major.
Okay.
But it proved to be a false flag.
Before I pull that out, we're going to go up top and we're going to take a look. We're going to go together. That way, if something falls, I don't drop it on you guys. Now, it might be, I don't know. Might it? Might it not? Is that a word? I don't know. There's line in there. It's piloted. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I did this on a car. But on a Bull Dozer, is it the same? Could be. It could be different. Get the light off to the side. If we strategically place the light on an angle like this, what it will do for us is when the bolt finally comes out, it will deflect the falling component just enough I need a screwdriver. Well, we're in unknown territory here. I've never seen this before. This thing's got to come off. I can see that right now. Got to go like that. But yeah, I am certain that those fingers need to be somehow collapsed.
Now you can see I'm working pretty hard here to try to get that pressure plate out of there. But what I don't realize is that the clutch plate that's attached to the back of the motor on a spline had come off and was trying to come down through the opening with the pressure plate assembly. That won't work. And it takes me a few minutes, but I finally figure it out.
So what was happening was it was trying to pull both sets of plates, the plates against the motor and the plate on this out at the same time. I pushed the plates that are up against the motor up, and this slid down. There's another set of plates, okay? There's the plates that are attached to this thing, and then there's another set of plates up in there. They're real thin, and they're loose. And they were trying to come down with the assembly, and that's what was keeping it from coming out. So now, I pushed them back up, and this thing is coming down. Thank you, Lord. So set of plates. There it is. Hallelujah.
Ah, sweet success. What a great feeling.
So, let's get this out on the bench. So the clutch is officially out of the Bull Dozer. And what I'll do now is I'm gonna get cleaned up. I'm gonna clean these up a little bit, and then we'll do a closer inspection to see just exactly what we have. And I'm gonna do some measuring. I'm gonna measure the thickness of this plate. I mean, this plate, it doesn't look worn out to my eye, but I don't know how thick this is supposed to be to begin with. We're not, well, I take that back. It's got to be pretty doggone close because we're almost to these rivets that hold this thing together. So, that said, yeah, this is probably pretty worn out. So we're going to get this cleaned up. I'm going to get all these dirty clothes off, and we're going to go inside and get out the parts manual and see what we need. I'll go right through it with you. I'll show you the part numbers, everything. I've actually have the parts manual for this machine from 1965, and it has the part numbers and everything. But I am going to call yesterday's tractor and just find out from them, hey, this is what I've got. This is what part number it says I need. Do you have that? And then they're going to tell me, yes, we do, or no, we don't, but we've got a cross-reference number. And then they're going to tell me, yeah, that'll be $1 million, and we'll send you the parts. So hopefully that last part won't be true. Hopefully this will be a relatively inexpensive fix for this machine. The parts are probably not that expensive. In this case, all the money would have been in the labor. And so, that's where we're at for right now. Let's go inside and start looking this stuff up. Okay, so I promised you guys that I'd look this stuff up in the book, in the parts manual. Here is my parts manual. Here is the clutch information, clutch assembly information. So you got your plate 12 is the that's the plate with facings on both sides, and then plate 9 is the actual pressure plate. This is the thing that has the springs behind it that applies the pressure to the plates. Number 9. I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but it's a G4508, and number 12 is a G45791. So we don't need the carrier for the throwout bearing. We just need the bearing. The carrier is fine. We do need the hose, the tube. So it's 26 and 27. So 26 is G13624, bearing throwout. That's your throwout bearing. 27 is that tube is 51040-10, hose for throwout bearing. So I wanted to share that information with you and just put it in the video. So if anybody's watching this has to do this, they have the actual part numbers from Case. So I hope that helps. I hope you enjoyed this first installment of the clutch and track repair on this machine. I hope you have a great evening. Take care.